to Mokaram Injury Lawyers Reaction Monday on Sports Radio 610. Here's Payne and Pendergast.
First down, Lakefield checks in, the extra O-lineman. C.J. hands off to Chubb through a seam right side, has the 20, the 15, 10, 5, Chubb, rock and roll, touchdown, Houston, Nick Chubb to the house.
Mark Vandermeer on the call. That touchdown looked almost identical to the one he scored against Tampa Bay to take the lead. The difference was, I think the Ravens were trying on that touchdown. There's some questions still over whether the Bucs were trying to tackle
I think
him.
One of the most promising things about that run was that it was against the blitz. And, there were still some things yesterday that popped up where you got to be concerned about how the Texans are handling the blitz. But they blocked everything up properly. And then as it happens with runs against the blitz, if you can make it past that first wave of defenders, there's a lot of green grass. And I'm curious, sometimes NFL Next Gen releases this information, sometimes they don't, but I'm curious how fast he was running on that.
I am too, because he outran guys to the end zone. It's not like he got past that first wave, and it's not like they had 11 guys on the line of scrimmage on that play.
Right. He wasn't outrunning like bona fide. He wasn't outrunning Kyle Hamilton. He wasn't outrunning Marlon Humphrey or anybody, but he was outrunning people.
Yeah.
And I think that was a little closer to that burst that classic Nick Chubb might have.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious to see how many miles per hour was it in comparison to what his previous top scores were. But the blocking on that play by the receivers was really very, very key.
Yep.
Because you had Xavier Hutchinson with a nice block. You had Christian Kirk. We're going to combo block. That was really, really good by the entire offense.
Good to see. Yeah, here was DeMeco Ryans yesterday after the game on the performance of the offensive line.
Yeah, offensively, I thought our offensive line did a really nice job of protecting. C.J. had a lot of time in the pocket to make those decisions and make the good throws that he made. So really proud of those guys, and also running the football. Like, we were able to run for over, 160 yards for us to run the ball that way. It's a credit to our offensive line. It all starts there. Tight ends, receivers, everybody getting involved in blocking and staying with it. And our backs did another great job again this week.
Yeah, and C.J. was getting the ball out fast yesterday, too. He was I think I saw one of the Advanced Stats Twitter accounts saying this was the fastest he's gotten the ball out all year for sure, like 2.4 seconds. He was among the fastest in the NFL yesterday, getting rid of the football. That helps the offensive line for sure.
That's been a trend all season long. He's been in the top 10 for time to throw, fastest time to throw, which is exact opposite of what it was last year, where he was one of the he was in the bottom third of time to throw, and that's part of just being a third-year quarterback. We saw Pat Mahomes have to go through this, understanding that you got to take what the defense gives you. As much as it's a cliche, as annoying as it is, you got to just keep the sticks moving, get to third and short, do all those things. And I think they've done a good job of that the last couple weeks, especially. And then just trust that you'll have your opportunities to take your shots downfield.
Yep.
If you keep doing that, the defense is going to get a point. And we saw it last week in the Titans when L'Jarius Sneed ends up. All it takes that one moment where L'Jarius Sneed screws up his coverage and you hit Nico Collins. You saw yesterday, they just taking what it gives you, rush the ball for first downs when you need to, and the big moments will pop at some point.
They averaged 8.5 yards on first down. I think I saw DeMeco say in the post game, in the not in his press conference, but in the locker room. He was rattling off number after number. They scored 44 points, so he was acknowledging a lot of people. 8.5 yards they averaged on first down yesterday, which is really good. Here was C.J., his assessment of the offensive line.
Yeah, our O-lineman did a great job, and that's where it starts. I think I'm one of the best, when I get the time and I can, deal it out. And our O-line did amazing this game. And when that happens, Kales is calling a great game, and our receivers running really good routes. We've been getting better at practice every week, and I think that's where you see the growth. But yeah, it really starts with him.
The offensive line, against the beleaguered defense, they did some things really well, including the play where Nick Chubb had to dodge a defender in the backfield.
Yeah, it was the first drive of the game.
Yeah, Jake Andrews missed a block because his defensive tackle was slanting as he was planning. He was planning on double teaming that defensive tackle with the left guard. But the difference between how that would have happened last year versus how that would have happened this year. Last year, 3 others too, and it would have been dead in the water. Like Joe Mixon would have beat that tackle, and then maybe he would have gotten a yard or two.
Yeah.
But because the right guard and right tackle did such a good job on their double teaming, because the tight end actually performed his duties, you ended up Joe Mixon could dodge a block or dodge a defender in the backfield, but still had a really good picture in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you can withstand one missed block. It's that when you've got multiple breakdowns, that's where things get really, really ugly. I've just seen more evidence in the last few weeks on those plays of guys, all right, somebody misses a block, but you've moved the line of scrimmage ahead a few yards, and you can at least make 3 yards out of it. That play ended up being much more than 3 yards.
It was a 9-yard run. He would have been stuffed from -2 yards. Nick Chubb got 11 extra yards out of that play.
The thing about this offense, and you heard Nick Caley and DeMeco Ryans talk all during the preseason about how important the double teams are going to be, playing physical at the point of attack. It's really hard in training camp anymore to really get genuine quality reps doing that stuff because you're trying to keep everybody up off the ground. You're not playing in the preseason hardly at all. And it might seem like, what's so hard about it? You're just double teaming somebody. It takes a lot of footwork and timing and cohesion and all of that. I mean, I've turned into a grumpy old man about it. I wish I'd see the offensive line play more in the preseason because the downside, the risk is that somebody gets injured. The downside is that you start off 0-3.
Yeah.
Because you're not good at doing what you want your bread and butter to be.
That's right. That's
right.
Yeah.
Okay, so 6 of one, half dozen the other. I'd rather practice at doing what you want to do live and getting good at that way than start off 0-3. But somebody's got a sprained ankle. Screw his ankle.
Yeah, exactly. I'm watching. They're showing highlights last night, the Sunday Night Football game, which you could have heard on Sports Radio 610. The AFC is wide open. If you missed it last night, Buffalo lost at home to the New England Patriots. Patriots are they're a decent team. Drake May looks like he might be good. It looks like there might be another good quarterback in the AFC here with Drake May and the Patriots. They're 3-2 now in the season.
His numbers are very similar to Josh Allen's.
Yeah, I have Drake. I have Drake May on one of my fantasy teams. It's been delightful having him this year. Yeah, and stylistically he's kind of similar. I don't think he's the tippy top level runner that Josh Allen is, but he's very athletic, Drake May. So I say that to say that the Texans winning that game yesterday and just getting to 2-3 and kind of keeping the teams that are in front of them in their windshield right now, Seth, is really critical because, look, Buffalo was the last of the undefeateds going into last night, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is the fastest I can remember the undefeateds all going away. I think they were Philly was undefeated and Buffalo was undefeated, and I don't think there's any others left, if I'm not mistaken. But, Buffalo proved that they're fallible last. Look, Buffalo should probably be 3-2. They probably should have lost to the Ravens in the opener, but they made that huge comeback at the end of the game.
Yeah.
I guess Buffalo's still the best team in the AFC right now.
And then, you talk about the teams that were undefeated. I mean, the Eagles, nobody can figure out what the hell the Eagles are right now. And it was with an offense that can't run the ball, can't pass the ball. They'd done it with blocked kicks and turnovers and everything else. But the upper crust of the NFL at large right now is standing on very unstable footing.
Very flawed. Very, very flawed. And even just keeping it in the AFC, look, 2 weeks ago, people were putting Justin Herbert in the MVP conversation. People were saying, see, this is why I had Justin Herbert fifth among all NFL quarterbacks, even though he's never won a playoff game. See, he's 3-0. Yeah, now he's 3-2, and he lost to the Giants, and he got blown out by the Commanders at home yesterday and threw a bad pick in the second half of that game when they were trying to come back in that game.
When I look across the entire AFC, the team that really sticks out as the team that's played most consistently really good football on both sides of the ball. It's the Indianapolis Colts.
Bingo, yeah.
I mean, it very much is the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah.
You look at the Bills, and for one, they've allowed 113 points defensively. The Colts have allowed 89.
Yep.
Meanwhile, the Colts have scored 163, and the Bills have scored 153.
Yeah.
And, I mean, last week was the Colts' first time that they really looked, okay, they're not infallible. All right, Daniel Jones might be coming down to earth a little bit. And then, boom, there he goes again, Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
The worst nickname in the history of nicknames.
Well, and even that game last
Inbred
week.
Jones.
Even that game they lost last week, they probably, if Adonai Mitchell just doesn't fumble the foot. God, did you see another guy, DeMercado? What are these guys doing? Cover up the ball and run into the end zone. That was crazy.
The Cardinals had a really healthy lead in that game, and they were about to go up by 7 more.
Yeah.
And he just decides to let go of the football before he crosses the imaginary plane.
Let's go. So the score stays 21-6, and then the Titans get it to 21-12, and they score one of the wildest touchdowns you're ever going to see. Cam Ward throws a pick. The guy fumbles it, and literally guys are kicking the ball around on the ground, and the thing rolls into the end zone, and Tyler Lockett falls on it, and that's how it gets to be 21-19, and then they end up winning on a last-second field goal, 22-21. Just absolutely brutal if you're a Cardinals fan, or if you hate the Titans like we do.